Namaste everyone. Welcome to Lessons with Lakshmi. Today we'll be discussing about A Legend of Northland by Phoebe Cary, part 2. In the previous part I have already discussed about the poem and analysis and explanation of the poem line by line. In this video we'll be discussing about the rhyme scheme, figures of speeches and question and answers. So, rhyme scheme. What is a rhyme scheme? Rhyme scheme means we are checking the end rhymes. End rhymes means the last word of the first line will be compared with the last word of the second line and so on. And we go on giving alphabets according to it. And we'll find one kind of rhythm in the poem. That is called as a rhyme scheme. If you have the rhymes like couplet or it will give a song-like quality to the poem. So we are going to check the rhyme scheme of the poem over here. First we'll check the very first thing. We have to give the first alphabet because there is nothing to compare to. So here Northland, we don't have anything to compare to. So we will give the alphabet A over here. Okay. Then we'll check Northland with the second word, that is few. Few, Northland, are they rhyming together? No. So we have to give the letter B. Then we'll take the next word, winter, and then check with the Northland. Winter, Northland, are they rhyming? No. Winter, few, are they rhyming? No. So we have to give the next word in order, next letter, that is C. And then check the next word, through, with Northland, are they rhyming? No. Through, few, so it is ending, it is rhyming. The end, through, few, so it is rhyming. So we can give the letter B here. So the first stanza rhyme scheme we have is A, B, C, B. Let's move on to the next stanza. Now in the next stanza we have reindeer. We have to check is it rhyming with the previous stanza. Okay. Now Northland, reindeer, no. Few, reindeer, no. Winter, reindeer, no. Through, reindeer, no. So we have to give here reindeer, some other letter. So we will start with E. Okay, D. We have already used A, B, C, B. So after C we have the next letter, that is D. So we'll give D. Then check snows, reindeer. Is it rhyming with reindeer? No. So we can give the next letter in order, that is E. And then cubs, snows, cubs. We might think it is rhyming, but it is not. Snows, cubs, it is ending. Okay, so it is not rhyming. You might think it is rhyming, but no. Snows, O's we are getting. Cubs is not rhyming with snow. So we have to give next letter in order, that is F. Clothes, snows, see O's, it is ending, it is rhyming with snows. So we can give the letter E over here. Okay. So we'll move on to the next stanza again. In the next stanza, I have already given the rhyme scheme for you, but still we will do the rhyme scheme of the next stanza. Again, we will compare story with the previous stanzas. It is not rhyming with anything. So we can go about giving the next letter, that is G. Then true, story, no. So we have to give the next letter, that is H. Then lesson, story, no, not again. So we are giving I. And then U, true. See, they are rhyming together. U, true. Ooh, it is ending. So we can give the rhyme scheme as H. So the pattern of the rhymes is same. Pattern is A, B, C, B, D, E, F, E, G, H, I, H. It is continuing. The pattern is same. So we can give the rhyme scheme of the poem as A, B, C, B. So the next topic is figures of speech. Here, away in the Northland, I have bolded and underlined it. Away is repeated. So we can give the figure of speech as repetition over here. And then see, in yellow I have highlighted the words which are for alliteration. Here, that, they, cannot, them, the sound is repeated. And same here, look, like, l sound is repeated. And funny, furry, sound is repeated, so this can be given as alliteration. Not only alliteration, this can also be given as consonants. Consonants means same consonant letter is used to repeat the sound which is same. So we can say alliteration is again has two parts, consonants and assonance. Assonance means if vowel sound is repeated, then it is called as an assonance. Consonants means same consonant sound is repeated, but what is the difference in consonants is same letter has to be used to repeat the sound, so then it is consonant. So we can say it is consonants, or we'll stick with alliteration for this. Okay, and then the next part is important. This is the part where it continues to the next line. If a figure of speech, when they have broken down the poem into four lines, if it continues with the next line without a break, then that is called as enjambment. Here you see, away in the northland is given a punctuation, that is separate line. Where the hours of the day are few, that makes sense, there is a punctuation, so it is a separate line. But if you look at the third line, and the nights are so long in winter that they cannot sleep them through, that is a continuation line, that is not breaking at winter, it is continuing with the next line. The line meaning is overtaking, it's going on to the next line, so that is called as enjambment. Same way in the second stanza, first and second line, see, where they harness the swift reindeer to the sledges. We are not breaking at reindeer, we are continuing reindeer to the sledges when it snows. So that is enjambment. Again, and the children look like bear cubs in their funny furry clothes. So that is again continuation. So these are called as enjambment. Enjambment means where the line continues to the next line. That you have to remember. Next, one more figure of speech we have in the second stanza is look like. The children look like bear cubs. How do they look like? Like bear cubs. Here we are doing a direct comparison. So whenever we are doing a direct comparison, that figure of speech is called as a simile. Okay. Next, we'll move on to the next stanzas. Next, third stanza, you see again I have highlighted yet you learn a lesson, tell the tale to you. Ya sound is repeated in yet you learn a lesson. La sound is repeated, tell the tale to you, that again ta sound is repeated. These are not only alliterations but also consonants. So we can say alliteration. Again we have enjambment here, if you see. Okay, see, and yet you may learn a lesson if I tell the tale to you. The third and fourth line of the third stanza are continuation. There is no there is no punctuation over there to break it. And again in the fourth stanza, first and second lines are continuation, and third and fourth lines are continuation or continuing. See, once when the good Saint Peter lived in the world below and walked about it preaching just as he did. So first and second line are continuation. In the first line there is no punctuation, you see, after Peter. Then and walked about it just as he did. Preaching is delimitations with the commas. Okay, that is what he was doing, wandering about preaching. Okay, so that is delimitation. That is not a punctuation as in punctuation. It is used as a delimiting character. So we can say that as enjambment. So here again I have highlighted for you the alliterations. We have where woman was. Where woman was. Were sound is repeated. Faint with fasting. Again for sound is repeated. Alliteration or consonants here. And then that is the only figures of speech we have in fifth and sixth stanzas. Next we'll move on to the seventh and eighth stanza. Again we have but as it baking labor sound is repeated. That is in 7 and 8 stanza. Okay, so we have only alliteration over here, nothing else. And then we'll move on to the next stanza, that is we have 9th and 10th stanza. Here again took a tiny scrap, sound is repeated, and she put them on the shelf, sound is repeated. So that is again alliteration. Okay, Then rolled and rolled. The word rolled is repeated, so it is called as a repetition. Thin as a wafer. When we are directly comparing using words so, as, like, such direct comparison of is called as a simile. Okay, thin, baked it thin as a wafer. How thin? Like a wafer. So the cake which has been rolled is being compared to a wafer, so we can say this is a simile. Okay, so this many figures of speech we have here. And then in the next stanza, do we see any figure of speech? 11 and 12 again. 11th and 12th. And surely such a woman was enough to provoke a saint. Again, there is no punctuation after the woman, if you see here. Okay, so what is that figure of speech called as? Yes, enjambment. We have enjambment there. And then here also in double quotations we are talking until full stop. The whole thing will be enjambment because it is going to be continuation. If you don't have a full stop, until full stop it is a single sentence, so we can say this whole 4 lines is enjambment. Okay, then we have you shall build as the birds do. Build birds, again baba sound is repeated, alliteration. Build as a birds. How you are going to build? Like a bird. Again there is a comparison here using a word as, so we can say this is a simile also. Okay, simile as well as alliteration. Then we have boring, boring, boring. 3 times boring word is repeated. We cannot say and is repeated because those are not distinct words. These conjunctions, prepositions, all if they repeat, we are not going to say it's a figure of speech. Only specific words when they repeat, then we can say it is a figure of speech. So boring is repetition. Okay, then then we have again, do we have enjambment here? Scanty food by boring and boring and boring. Again there is no punctuation over there and it is continuation, so we can say it is enjambment. Okay, next we'll move on to the next stanza. This is our last stanza, 15th and 16th. Black as a coal. Now how black? Like coal. So what a figure of speech do you think comes here? Yes, you are correct. It is simile. Okay, we are comparing, directly comparing using words as, such, like. All these comparison using direct comparison is simile. Then again boring and boring words are repeated. Boring word is repeated, so we can say it is repetition. So here we end our figure of speech. So here the last part of our question answer. This is, which country or countries do you think the Northland refers to? Now the Northland is anything around the North Pole. The countries around North Pole are Russia, Norway, Canada, Greenland. So any of the country can be Northland. What did Saint Peter ask the old lady for? He asks her for a cake, baked cake. What was the lady's reaction? She doesn't give him the cake which is already there on the shelf. She tries to make a smaller and smaller cake. How did he punish her? He cursed her. He converted her. He punished her by converting her to a bird. How does the woodpecker get her food? See, the name itself has the answer. Woodpecker. It pecks wood to collect food. Okay. So here it bores into the hardwood to collect food. Do you think that the lady would have been so ungenerous if she had known who Saint Peter really was? No, I don't think that the old lady would have been so ungenerous if she had known who Saint Peter really was. What would she have done then? She would have given any number of baked cakes to Saint Peter. Is this a true story? Now they are asking you a question. You can write anything. There is no correct and wrong answer over here. Okay. Now if you ask me, I don't think it is a true story. It is a legend. The name itself has a legend. Legend is a story from the past which gives you a moral, okay, which gives you a good message. That is called as a legend. Why is this poem called a legend? This gives us a moral right at the end, that you should not be greedy. You have to help another human being. Write the story of a legend of Northland in about 10 sentences. Now you can say Saint Peter, when he was walking on the world, preaching about Christianity, reaches a house, a cottage in Northland where a little woman lives. He was so faint from weakness that he asks her to give him a baked cake. She refuses to. She keeps on doing trying to bake a smaller and smaller cake because she doesn't want to part. She was so greedy and stingy, and Saint Peter gets angry with her behavior and he curses her to convert into a food and to collect food like birds do, very little food at a time. And the woman immediately was cursed to become a woodpecker, and the story is still prevalent in countryside. Like that, you can write any story you want to write. Okay. Let's look at the words at the end of the second and fourth line. With snows and clothes, true and you. All the rhymes they have given, you have to find the rhyming words, whichever we have given, no, A, B, C, B. That is the second and the fourth end rhymes are giving. So you can write all those words as rhyming words. Okay. Go to the local library or talk to older persons in your locality and find legends in your own language. Tell the class these legends. You have to go about finding legends in your own place. So you can ask your grandparents or anybody to give you some stories. If you want some stories, there are many Greek mythology stories, Achilles heels, all these things. Any story which you know, or you can write about a legend of Zorro. Who cares? That is still a legend, right? So you can write anything, any story which you know, you can write about it. Thank you for listening to my class. Have a wonderful day. I'll meet you with my